This is Groove Talk with FrogE Style.
Welcome to another episode of Groove Talk, everybody. On this episode, I am joined by Stellar, Tristan, and George, and they make up the band Gratuitous Platypus.
We sure do.
Yep.
Hello, everybody.
So I guess just to start off, why don't you guys kind of introduce yourselves and then maybe tell us a little bit about the band?
I'm Stellar. I play bass and I sing in the band.
Yeah.
I'm Tristan. I play drums, and yeah, that's all I do.
He just sits back there looking pretty.
He's the chauffeur.
I'm George. I play the guitar, and I sing sometimes, depending on the song. A little bit about the band.
I don't know.
What
We're
do we
like
say?
we're like indie rock. I don't know. We play a lot of different genres. We kind of like to keep it open. You know, don't like to restrict ourselves to any one.
We play whatever we like to play.
Yeah.
Whatever we like to hear, we'll make a little bit of that music.
It's mostly rock, but we have roots in all kinds of different genres. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Stellar, anything to add about that?
We've been playing together for, 3 years, and we just finished high school. And
Yeah, we just graduated.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Put out our
Yeah.
CDs and all that, so it's been going well for us so far.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I guess how did the band form then?
Well, this is a great story. So George's mom ran into my mom at the grocery store, and we were like in 9th grade and small, and they said, "Hey, our kids play instruments. They should start a band." And
Like way back when I met Stellar, I met Stellar and Cubs together.
Cub Scouts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a while ago, and I don't know. I was friends with him. Everyone, I didn't understand because he was a nice kid, but no one liked him.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, it's just Stellar. I like Stellar. He's good.
Yeah.
And then we were in grade 6 together. He started learning bass, and I was like making mental notes of people that played instruments that I could recruit later. Yeah, and then our parents met in the grocery store in grade 9, and we're like, let's get our kids together and get them to play. And so yeah, then it was, so we knew each other. We had a bass and guitar. We were like, what do we do about drums? 'Cause no one plays drums.
They had a band before Gratuitous Platypus with a guy named Michelle, who was a guitarist, and George was on drums.
I was like, I guess I'll have to play the drums.
So that was what, no MSG?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
I want to be a band, if I want to have a band, I guess I'm going to have to play the instrument that no one around plays. So I tried to teach myself a bit. And I mean, I was bad, but I wasn't that bad.
We recruited Tristan. We basically forced him into learning the drums for us.
Yeah, I was a guitarist before. I didn't play the drums at all before we started the band, and then I've known Stellar since kindergarten. We're like brothers almost, right? And I was living in Calgary at the time and started playing guitar, and then he was like, "Yo, we need a drummer," and so I moved out to High River, where we're there from, and started drumming in the band and in the jazz band at the school there.
It's like,
Right.
Tristan, we need a drummer. Learn the drums now,
Yeah.
and then you're in the band.
Exactly.
Awesome. So you guys have been playing together for a fairly long time then?
A decent amount now.
Relatively.
3 years now.
Yeah.
Coming up on, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, jamming and like Gratuitous Platypus. I don't know. I've only played drums as long as we played Gratuitous Platypus, right? So we didn't really jam much before. And we started like acoustic, actually.
Yeah, we played like folk shows and little house concerts around High River, but I got tired of only doing that. Like, I wanted to play some rock and roll, which is what we would jam in my basement.
Yeah.
And so finally I was just like, I'm sick of these. I'm not doing it anymore. We're not playing any more folk shows. We're going to play rock and roll. And then we started to get more and more shows. We had some help. We entered a song in CBC Searchlight, and then Graham McKenzie heard our song and sent us a message and invited us to play. So Yeah, and ever
Yeah.
since that day we played at Sloth Records. That was like exactly, not exactly, but
a year ago in March 31st this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
And then ever since then we've been playing more and more and more and more, and it's been awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Graham is an amazing human being.
Yeah, he's a great
Yeah,
dude. Yeah.
He does so much for the music scene.
For sure. He's
Yeah,
helped us
he
out
really
a lot.
just helps, and
Yeah.
it's great. Like,
Yeah. Without him, we wouldn't have made it anywhere we are in Calgary.
Yeah.
You know?
definitely. Yeah.
Especially when we played that the gig open from Calpurnia at McEwen Hall. He did a lot of pushing for us, along with the Adam Camus from CGSW. They did a lot of pushing for us to, like, kind of like a recommendation, right? Which helped us get that gig. So we owe a lot to them and Graham, right?
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what's it kind of feel like to have that support from people who are already so established in the Calgary music scene?
It's really cool.
Yeah, it definitely feels good. It's it's hopeful. Right?
It's so reassuring.
Yeah.
Because it's like these people are helping us, so they must think that we're
Or
doing
something.
something right. Like, we must be doing something right if everyone's helping us out and being so supportive. And yeah, it's really cool because it's like basically what I've always wanted to do,
Yeah.
and now we're doing it. And like,
For
I
sure.
can't say enough.
Yeah,
of it.
there's always like in High River. There's always been a lot of. It's especially like because they're from Calgary, like they're established in the biz around Calgary, right? There's a lot of a great community around music in High River, but there's not a lot of venues for people to play at, especially underage people.
Yeah.
So that's where Graham really helped us out, right? And it was really nice to have that support from him.
Awesome. Have you guys received a lot of support from your community as well?
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely, yeah. In High River, we've gotten so much help from pretty much everybody we know.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
people giving us instruments, and one of our teachers helped us do the recording that we put in the CBC Searchlight that Graham heard, right?
Driving all the way up to Calgary countless times to see us play.
Yeah, and like we just released that music video,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, the school letting us do a food fight in the cafeteria, right? So that's pretty cool of them. you
Trusting
know,
that we weren't gonna
just trash it and then
completely
ditch it,
destroy
right?
the school. It
know.
did stink for a
Oh
while.
god, I was like gagging that whole time.
I got a bit of like whipped cream in my hair, and every time I turned my head, it smelled like curdled milk. And man, that dance part was really fun to film with that smell following me everywhere.
But yeah, so it's really nice to have everybody from town, right? A lot of people.
Awesome. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I saw the music video and I saw that it was in the school there, so it's
Yeah.
like the school must at least somewhat support you, unless you
Yeah,
like ninja that many people into the school.
We know the right teachers to ask to be like. Actually, it's really funny because there was like almost no hesitation to allow us. Like, we went and talked to one of the vice principals, and it was like, hey, could we have a food fight?
He was like,
And he was
"Yeah,
just like,
totally."
yeah, okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, and like we had Craig Carswell and Maxwell Malgi, that like the guys who kind of helped us out and produced it, right? They came in and they had like a whole game plan to talk to the people, and we're like so ready to like be like
Try
legit.
and convince and
Yeah.
convince and convince.
And it was just we just asked, and they were like, yeah, totally, that's cool. Just
pick
name
a
it,
Saturday
pick a
and
Saturday, and we'll figure it out. It was so wicked.
It was like wait, hold on.
Really?
Really? You're gonna let us do this?
That was
All right.
easy.
We're fine with that.
Awesome. So, did somebody from your school also produce the music video, or?
No, that was Maxwell. I don't know how to pronounce his last
Malgi,
name.
I think.
Malgi.
Malgi.
Yeah. And he's out of Calgary, and he's done videos for quite a few people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's Craig kind of hooked us up with him.
Craig
Yeah,
Carswell. He's
Craig
from
was
High
telling
River.
us
He's
about all of the stuff that he's done, and he had a video that won a Juno, I
Or
think.
was
a couple
nominated
years-
or
was
something.
nominated
No.
or something.
No.
No?
That
was-
didn't happen?
Yeah, no,
What did
that
he
didn't
say?
happen. He worked with an artist that was nominated for a
Oh,
Juno.
that's cool.
So either way, still cool.
Yeah,
you
on
know.
a song that was
Yeah.
Awesome.
yeah, but he did a really great job. We're happy with the
Yeah, really, really happy with how he did what he did.
Yeah.
It was all his. We basically
Yeah,
it was all
we
his
just came
idea.
and he told us what to do.
we showed up and Tristan covered my head in whipped cream.
Yeah, it's pretty much a great day.
Nice.
Sorry, if anyone thinks, oh, it would be so much fun to be in a food fight. No, it's not.
Terrible. It was disgusting.
Don't do it. It sucks.
It was so nasty.
The smell was traumatizing.
I feel like it's one of those things that it gets old fast. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
throw the first thing, you're like, and then you get covered
As
in
soon
food.
as you get
And you're
like a little bit of food on you, especially on your head, anywhere on your head, it's like, okay, I'm over it and I want to leave now.
It was definitely the smell. For
I
me.
felt
It
so
was-
bad.
it was-
We had people come from Calgary for it, and we didn't like say anything about like bringing towels or anything.
And
to,
nobody
like,
brought like changes of clothes. They knew they were going to be in a food fight.
yeah,
we
but
didn't
no one
specify.
brought anything.
It was like people going home from High River to Calgary just covered in like old spaghetti
And like
Jello.
beans and
Poor people. Thank you so much.
yeah,
for coming
we're
to that.
really happy that everyone came out and continues to support us from
Yeah.
that were in the video. But man, we apologize.
So have you guys always been music people? Has music always been a really big part of your lives?
Absolutely, yeah. We've all grown up very heavily influenced by music. Different ways.
My dad and I used to get he's a big Grateful Dead fan, and he was really into the Grateful Dead, especially like right when I was little. So we used to get he would have like live Grateful Dead concerts on DVD, and we would move the coffee table out of our like living room in our house, and we'd lay down like rugs and stuff like they have on stage, and then we would like pretend like we were playing as the Grateful Dead. I had my tiny little like my green Walmart guitar, and we would pretend that we were the Grateful Dead. He was always like, "Oh, George, Jerry's about to do a solo. You gotta play a solo." And I was like, "Oh, all right, Dad, all right." Yeah, and my dad definitely showed me everything that I know, got me into it, and has been huge in helping me get gear that is needed, and when I need it, and then I can pay him back for things. And he just got on Instagram, and he made a profile. He's called #1 Roadie. He's so he loves it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you guys have like one specific album that kind of, the first time you heard that album, you were like, oh, like this is music, and that kind of like started your journey down the musical rabbit hole?
So many.
There's
There's
so
so
many.
many.
I'm pretty sure we've all got a different one.
Yeah.
So you guys start, because I'll just ramble.
I used to listen. I grew up. My parents were punks, so we listened to lots of punk. And I think the first album that I really loved as an album was "Out Come the Wolves" by Rancid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
For sure. Yeah, I the first one that I like imagined myself in my head being a rock star too, right, was Dookie by Green Day. That one, I just listened to that album on repeat all day and just like, yeah, I'm gonna be a rock star one day, man. Yeah, I loved it. That was the one that kind of solidified it.
I didn't have necessarily a specific album, whole album. I got really into music because I watched I saw Lilo and Stitch as a child, and the music, it's all Elvis music, and then my parents showed me Elvis, and then I would just pretend to be Elvis all the time. But then my dad made me this mix CD of a bunch of Black Sabbath and the Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I would play that all the time, and it was the first CD that I had that I would go, oh yeah, I want to do this, I want to play these parts, I want to learn all this stuff. And yeah, that's sort of for
It is
an
really
actual
hard to break it down.
album would probably be, I got really into the Black Keys as a kid. My cousin showed me the Black Keys, and them, the Raconteurs, and Cage the Elephant.
Yeah.
For your one album.
For my one album, it's those three bands. Yeah. Yeah, El Camino by the Black Keys. I would mark that down.
Awesome. So I guess What's it like having a band and getting some success in the Calgary music scene while still being in high school?
It was really crazy. You know, it's like be gigging with people who like 4 times our age and, you know, playing on the same gigs as them, and it's really, sometimes it's weird. Sometimes I like, you go to a gig and you feel out of place, right? It's just like, I'm so young compared to everybody here.
Yeah. And then you start
Right?
playing and everyone's immediately like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
we like the, all right.
But then as soon as you get on stage, it's just like, whatever, man, we're just playing. It's just the same old musicians like everybody else, right?
It was weird at school too, especially when we started, because nobody took us seriously. We were
Yeah.
just the losers in the band with the funny name.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
a joke. I think we were like an inside joke around the high school.
Platypus.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
couldn't say it, and
Our librarian still couldn't say it by the end of the year.
she was the librarian. She eventually just stopped trying to even
It's
say
like
it
the
or spell
Platypus
it.
Boys. It's really crazy. We played that show at Mac Hall with opening for Calpurnia, and ever since then our like fan base really grew that night. But now I'll be out like just. It's insane to be recognized in public. Like, it's only happened a couple times, but when it happens, it's just like, oh my god, this is a complete stranger that I've never talked to in my life, and they're like
Yeah.
pointing at me excitedly.
Yeah, it's like, why? It's so weird. I'm just some teenage puke, man. What do you,
Yeah.
what do you think?
That's awesome. So do you guys ever get nervous when you go up on stage then, or have you kind of conquered that?
I don't. I've been nervous like leading up to shows, but it's usually not about performing. It's actually about like ticket sales. Usually,
Yeah.
it's when we've had to sell tickets and we're
Will
in
there
charge
be
of pushing
people?
That.
Will
Yeah,
they
that's
show
the part
up?
that really makes me nervous and stresses me out. But it's.
But then
once
you get
we're
on
playing,
stage.
It's fine. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never had much stage fright.
Yeah, it's really funny because like I used to I've always thought that it would be really difficult to get up on stage and play, but then it definitely helped that all of our early shows were just like friends and family
Oh, yeah.
coming out in town, because that sort of
Yeah. got us
immediately
used.
we were like, oh, all right, it's just people.
Yeah.
And yeah, the smaller crowds are harder than the bigger crowds,
For
I
sure.
find.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when less people show up to your show and it's like,
Yeah.
all right, there's 8 people. How do I like be a rock star to 8 people
star.
without
Rockstar.
without them like being whatever, you know? Because like to the big audiences, it's just
You can kind of feed off of people's energy.
Yeah.
And you got like 8 dudes sitting in the back of a pub.
Woo, yeah.
you're like, you guys are cool.
Yeah, you just finished playing like a shredding guitar solo, and then
There's, like,
you
6
stop and
claps.
it's like, woo.
Yeah.
It's almost comical at times.
Yeah. I feel like that's every band has to go through those moments.
Yeah.
Now, you know? They got to get used to the big crowds and the small crowds.
For sure. You just gotta laugh it off.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys recently released an E EP.
Yeah.
Yes, it was our second one. It's called Slightly Foul and Subtly Emphatic. It's not online yet, like it's not on Spotify or anything, but we do have physical copies of CDs. We're just getting some financial stuff sorted before we put it
Yeah.
up online.
We don't make any money from
Yeah.
Spotify, so we enjoy it when people buy our like physical CDs.
Yeah.
And we think it's cooler, you know. That's
For
how we
sure.
grew up doing it.
CDs and stuff like that, you know. It's cool. I don't know, the picture, you know, means something.
Yeah. I still have like, especially with local music, I find like
Yeah.
having that CD it's almost like, I don't know, maybe like 1 in 50 people have this, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
you're
one
part
of 50
of
people.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have like
Definitely.
this like cool special music collection now that
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's so unique that like I can guarantee you nobody's gonna have. Like,
For sure.
just-
Definitely.
Yeah. And it's just, I feel like with the move towards streaming and stuff like that, we're
Yeah.
kind of losing that a little bit. Like
For
that,
sure.
Yeah,
that
it's
personal
so much
touch.
less like personable
Yeah.
than
Right.
it used to be.
It used to be part of a community, right? It was like almost like music was really more of a movement, right? It could be like, yeah, let's do this, right?
Yeah.
But now
And
it's like, whatever. I'll
Oh, it's
just
on
get
the
it on
internet,
Spotify.
I'll get it later.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
And like back for the push, where everyone's back into vinyl again. It's also about like the actual music listening process. Like I enjoy all that stuff. You don't buy anything like all of the vinyl that's made nowadays is like people say that vinyl sounds better, but all the vinyl that you're buying nowadays is basically just the CD but ripped onto a vinyl.
Yeah.
And it's like obviously you can buy an original copy of an album from the 80s and have it be an actual like
Vinyl recording.
analog recording, but just to be part of the process. Like it feels so good to set down that record and like drop the needle and everything. It's even the same thing, a little less so, but with a CD. Like you get that CD, you have the actual thing, and to slide it into your CD player and like figure out, like learn the track numbers.
Yeah.
You know, like online you just press whichever one you want, but when you're on the CD, it's like look at the back of the CD.
13.
Oh, it's track 13.
Yeah.
Click, 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 click.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many CDs that I just like know the songs that come after it. So then
Same here, yeah.
when I hear the song and that song doesn't come after them, I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
so
like,
it's
this
kinda
doesn't work.
weird.
It's
Yeah.
not the same.
So I can't listen to albums on shuffle.
Yeah.
Like, I can make a playlist of a bunch of albums and then that's fine. But like if I put on a CD, it's like, okay, I gotta listen to it from the beginning. Like I can start halfway through, but I can't like.
It's about the journey, right?
Yeah, because every song is supposed to be in that order.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like, I can make playlists, and that's fine, but if I'm going to listen to the album, it has to be, like, from start to finish,
Yeah.
and it has to be in the order, or else, it really bothers me.
Yeah, for sure.
Cause then you're like, and like I'll even start singing the riff of the next, like how the next song begins, and then on shuffle, and then it'll be like, oh right. Oh dang!
Man.
Yeah, that's something about today, too, is, it's cool. Music's so accessible because we all have smartphones. We all have music on our phones.
Mm-hmm.
So you can listen to music pretty much when you're doing anything.
Yeah.
But, like, not a lot of people, like, just take the time just to listen to music.
Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like intentional and like
Inten-
really not necessarily analyze, but like actually pay attention to what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that maybe speaks to why like a lot of pop music you hear is like it's made for like a dance beat, right? That you just party to,
Yeah,
right?
Made
It's
it
not something
that you don't
that,
have to think about.
Exactly.
You can just listen to.
Exactly. You
Which
don't,
is totally understandable.
for sure, but we can't forget about real music.
But at the
because,
same
like,
time, yeah, real music's got to be around, and
not that like isn't music. It is music because it's making somebody happy, right? But like music, right? That like you have to think about, right, and feel.
Yeah. Yeah, like both have their places,
Exactly, right?
That's
Like
why
it's a
when-
great time to just party, right?
when like
But
a new album comes out, no matter what, it's like I can't listen to this yet. I can't put it on if I'm doing something. It's always I gotta wait till I get home and then play it. And usually the nice thing about having Spotify and everything is that when a new album comes out, it's there immediately. So I can sit down and listen to it like that. I will always go out and buy the actual CD, but just to be able to, on the morning that it comes out, be able to sit there and listen to it and go like, oh yeah, here it is. I don't have to wait to get to the store to buy it and everything. So that's nice. It's accessible.
Yeah, the accessibility of music, it's never been so accessible for people to listen to music and also make music.
yeah,
Just with like today's technology and
Yeah.
like the cheaper and cheaper recording gear, like the
Yeah.
fact that we're doing this right now
Yeah.
is because of technology.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's this band I like, or I guess it's a solo artist, but he hires a band. It's called Unknown Mortal Orchestra, I think is what he's his artist he calls himself. But his most recent album is all done on just an iPhone.
Oh wow.
Like he just records things in his basement. He'll do it all, and he has like a setup, but he wanted he was on like a tour, I believe, and he recorded it in different hotel rooms the whole like way, or I may be getting the band mixed up, but something like that. And he just like used his iPhone, set it down on the table, and recorded the whole album.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because it sounds like it could have been done in any really fancy studio, but it's just an iPhone.
Yeah, I think the Gorillaz did an album like that too. They used an iPad and they made their entire album just off this iPad.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't remember which album it is, but I
Yeah.
remember hearing something about that. So I guess what was the recording process like for you guys?
Really fun.
Yeah, really fun. We've done most of our recording with Craig Carswell at Red Black Recording. It's just his home studio in High River, and it's really cool. We're good friends with Craig, so it's a lot of joking around while we set up and record, and we do everything live off the floor. So it's a lot of redoing a song again and again, right? Like we on our latest EP, we actually cut a track. We were gonna do 6, and then we ended up doing 5 because there was one that we just weren't happy with, right? Like we did it live off the floor, and it was sloppy.
It was really bad.
Yeah, not happy with it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't anything he did.
No,
was
he
just
mixed it
us.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He tried to fix it for us, but we were like, no.
No.
We played so bad. Get it off of there.
We don't want your name on it, let alone our name.
Yeah. We brought our friend Jacob on
Jacob Romanuk.
Okay.
onto our onto Slightly Foul and Subtly Emphatic. He plays the tenor saxophone, which I spelled wrong on the back of the album, so just now everyone knows. I put 2 N's instead of 1. I apologize. But it was really cool to have him, and we just brought him up on stage a couple days ago at our CD release for it, and it was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was so great finally having him up there with us to play.
People love Jacob. Jacob is killing it. So
Yeah.
that was fun. It was cool.
That was a great night in general. That was like the crowd, the energy was really good.
We had our CD release at McHugh House, and we the house was at capacity multiple times that night. Like there were people being turned away because of how full it was.
Yeah.
It felt so great just to have that crowd of people right there in front of us, and everyone was jumping and singing our songs, and
Yeah, it was wicked. It was a great night.
Awesome. So what's the writing process kind of like for you guys? How do songs come together?
It's different every time, but I usually come with like some verses or a chorus or like a good chunk of a song, and then I bring it to them, and then when we put it together, it doesn't work because I wrote it and I'm a bass player and I don't play guitar and I don't play drums, so I hear it in my head, and then we kind of things will change and adapt to fit
Stellar
into how
has
we
all
play together.
all the good ideas,
When it
and
comes
we
to
just
words.
have to make it fit together.
Yeah, he's the wordsmith. He does a lot of the words. George does a lot of the words. Some words
Sometimes.
Too. Yeah.
I don't have ideas as often as Stellar does for things. Like, yeah.
But yeah, everything we play is pretty much our parts, right? Like Stellar has an idea for a song, or George has an idea for a song, and we come together and like put it all together and work out the structure and the form or whatever.
Whenever
right?
whenever I have an idea, I always have a guitar and vocal part in mind, and then I'll bring it. I'll be like, "This is the feel. Go nuts, guys! Like, figure out a part."
Yeah, we kind of just jam it out and see how it feels.
Yeah, it would be like, "Oh, Tristan, let's bring it back on the drum part here and have it build to this part." And be like, "Oh yeah, all right, let's do that."
Right.
Like, yeah, and Stellar, I want you to do the same thing that I'm doing here. Just kind of becomes a song.
Spitball and
And
tossing ideas.
It's really funny because right when we've had a song for both CDs that not even a week before we went in to record them,
Yeah,
Stellar
just
wrote the song.
Awesome.
It's been interesting to do that as well because like usually we play them for a while and they change, right? Because we get comfortable with the songs. There's a couple songs that we've recorded and play a little differently now, or they sound a little more refined. Right.
Yeah.
So is it ever hard to like kind of let the songs go and be like, this song is now finished?
No, we've done that a few times. I think it's been mostly just me being stubborn. So, people are like, play this song. I'm like, no. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, my mom really loves a few of the first songs I wrote. I feel bad
songs
'cause I
from
just
way
won't.
back in the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like play
And
Walk
when
Back
I say
Home.
way back,
I'm
it's like
no,
2 years
sorry.
ago.
Yeah.
So what are some of the challenges, the main challenges that you guys face being a younger band in the Calgary music scene?
It was pretty much like the big issue was like sometimes getting into places. I mean, it changed a lot with the I can't remember AGC.
AGLC.
AGLC.
Yeah, they got us approved, but getting into different venues like pubs and stuff that were big, and when there was big shows going on, we couldn't play because we were underage, and we had some good opportunities come our way that we then had to turn away from because we were underage and we couldn't get into the venue because of the liquor licensing and stuff. And like trying to book gigs as well, and you email people and you're like, hey, we're a youth band, come hire us. They don't take you seriously without the good EPK and the good resume. Right? So
That's like the big one for trying to find shows.
And like building a name for ourselves. Like now that we've kind of built a name for ourselves, but like at first, like if we had been like asking to get paid for all of these gigs, you know, we wouldn't have gone anywhere, right? Like and I feel that's the way it is for a lot of bands, but for youth bands especially, you have to
just take what you can get.
Yeah, exactly. You really have to just like put up with pretty much volunteer work for a long time, right? Because people don't necessarily.
You don't want to risk paying.
Yeah, it's like credit, right? You don't have
yeah.
a lot of a very good credit with your band yet, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to pay a bunch of 10th graders to come out and play at their show that they're trying to make a profit off of.
Yeah.
It's like these kids could be anything. It's a youth show.
Which is totally fair.
But we've had
it's...
plenty of opportunity. Like there has been a couple shows where we weren't gonna make that much money, and then they've been like, "Oh, we liked you guys, and here's your pay." Or like I didn't think
we were gonna get paid at all, and they were like, "Oh, you guys were pretty good. Here's kind of like a tip or something." I guess. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Sometimes band places pay for our gas.
Yeah.
But,
I just love meeting. It's not really on the same topic, but I just love meeting all of the bands that we play with in places. Like, it's so great. Now we have so many friends in the scene that we met way back at our first shows. Like that Scratch Buffalo, they opened for us at our CD release party. Yeah. And we met them at the first show we ever played in Calgary at Sloth Records. Yeah. And other bands like Frank Mona, we're really good friends with them. And... It's so cool to just be part of the scene.
Yeah. It's one of the things that happened when I started this podcast is like I wasn't in the local music scene really at all. I didn't know about local music, and then I started this podcast and I just started emailing bands, and the friendliness of the Calgary music scene and the openness of everybody to just like bring you in and like be your friend basically.
Yeah, for sure. It's about everybody, like, this is a thing all of us can do, so why wouldn't we help each other do it, right?
We're so lucky to be in Calgary for that because lots of scenes in other cities or like Vancouver and things are very like cutthroat scenes.
Right, so
but we find here everyone's so
willing to support each other, right?
Right,
it's like a common goal.
Yeah, like in somewhere like Toronto or Vancouver or somewhere like that, like you almost get buried, right?
Yeah.
But around here, it's like we all kind of try to help each other get up, right? Try to get out there, right? Yeah. And so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's the one thing that like multiple bands that I've interviewed have said about Calgary is that exact thing, like
it's great.
Yeah, it's everybody's so friendly and so helpful, and everybody just wants to see everybody have a good time and see everybody succeed.
Yeah, because that's what music is supposed to be. It's about a community and having fun with everybody, making some tunes.
Yeah, exactly. Like we all have this common love, we all love music, whether I'm podcasting about it or whether people are playing it. We all love music, and we all just want more music out there.
Yeah, exactly.
So why not
work together and help each other get our music out there, right?
Yeah. Is there some I know we've maybe mentioned a couple, but is there like a standout example of somebody in the Calgary music scene kind of going out of their way to really help you guys out?
Well, there's a few actually. We've gotten a lot of help from quite a few people. I remember
of course Graham McKenzie.
Yeah, of course Graham McKenzie. I remember Scratch Buffalo, their lead guitarist Chris. He has been helping us a lot too, right? Like he has sent emails with lists of hundreds of different album review places for me to email and different tips and pointers, yeah, we've had
and
a lot of support from Adam Camus at CJSW as well. He's
Yeah.
been putting a good word in for us everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that first live set we played on the CGSW radio, right? That was like one of the first like big opportunities we had in Calgary, right? So that was, so Adam Camus, of course. And then-
and Anthony J from the Galacticas.
Oh, nice.
When I was looking for places to do our get our CD printed through, he had given me that advice when at the first time I met him. I met him at Easttown Get Down after they played at the bowling alley.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to him about music, and I was like, yeah, we want to start making a CD and everything. And he was like, oh, when you do, go to he gave us all of the information, and and then I would email him or whatever. And everyone's so willing to be like,
yeah.
Help out and give advice. And
here's where you should go. This is what you should do.
Yeah,
this
I
is what
remember.
I did, and it worked pretty well.
Yeah.
Or don't trust this place.
yeah, one of the techs at McEwen, I remember we finished, and he just gave us his phone number on a piece of paper, and he said, if you guys are looking for advice on how to be better prepared for shows like this, just give me a call.
Here you
Right?
go.
Just even small stuff like that, people just willing to give advice and help others do better.
Yeah.
It's all over the place in Calgary.
Awesome. Yeah, again, it just goes back to the friendliness of the Calgary music community.
Yeah. Exactly.
A lot of those people you've mentioned have either been on the podcast or
I was looking at the list of on Apple on the way over, and I was like, oh, I know so many of these people. Like, I met him. I know that guy. I know that guy. I know this band.
Yeah. So what are your guys' thoughts on the accessibility for live music for underage people?
There's been a lot done to increase that. Right?
It's
There's
made a lot of progress even just in the time we've been gigging.
Yeah.
But it definitely could be better. And I guess we come from a small town, so we don't get to go out and just see music very often.
Yeah.
So it's cool when we do have an opportunity to come play, because we also get to watch, right? And that's good for us. But there's a lot for youth to do in Calgary, especially now. I see, just even on Instagram, people I follow that are youth in Calgary are going to shows all the time, and there's stuff for them to do and places to.
Yeah, it's gotten better and better and better, and there's more and more and more happening, and lots of even places that aren't generally open to having all ages shows are starting to find ways to have them.
Yeah,
like
we
at
played
King
Eddie,
and
Broken City. I just had another one in my head, and then it fell out. What was that one place? The Blind Beggar Pub.
Okay.
Yeah, we played there, right?
Yeah,
And
places that don't generally have all ages events.
yeah, we
were-
got kicked out of Broken City one time.
Yeah, we signed up for Rockin' for $, and then we got there, and they were like, great, we'll just check your IDs, and you'll be good to go. And then we were like, oh, we don't have identification.
We're 16.
Yeah. No, but it was cool. They gave us gas, and we were like, sorry guys, but we can't let you in. And it was cool. It wasn't a big deal.
Yeah.
It did suck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we got to play there again at the Sound
Summit.
Off
It was
Summit.
their youth showcase. They hosted all the youth bands at Broken City.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I loved playing it. I want to play
The
there
sound
again.
guy. Yeah, I tried to give the sound guy a $10 tip because it was
Tristan
just so
broke his
good.
drum
Yeah.
kit, and he sprinted new pieces to him.
Yeah, he was just
And the
yeah.
mixing was so good.
I could
we
hear
could hear
everything.
ourselves perfectly, and
Yeah.
everyone who I talked to said they could hear us perfectly, and it
Yeah.
was like, yes, I want to play it again.
But yeah, it's the whole youth.
There's the
music
trick
thing is
for a venue. If to get bands wanting to play at your venue, hire a really good sound person.
yeah.
Yeah. The sound guy can definitely make or break a show. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, Broken City, really cool. There's a lot of really cool venues in Calgary, and there's
Definitely.
a lot of really unique venues that are opening themselves up to live music now. That
Yeah.
I found.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of breweries or just record stores
Yeah.
or just random things where you wouldn't expect live music to
Those
be.
are such
Yeah.
cool shows too.
Yeah.
Playing. We have the band In Search of Sasquatch. I'm friends with the drummer Nathan, he's trying to set up a show for us at the moment to play Tubby Dog, which would just be so much fun. Like, just stuff like that is so sweet.
Like the rec room and like places
McHugh
like that.
House.
Yeah.
We played McHugh House a while ago, and it's just an old house downtown. Like, and they just throw us in the living room by the window, and then there's people hang out in the living room space where there's no furniture.
Yeah.
And it's just
and
a
you
house.
get all the
like,
lights,
yeah.
all the lights shaking as people
Yeah.
are jumping up and down.
It's wicked.
Yeah, you
Nice.
can throw a show anywhere. So
Yeah, definitely. Like, all you need is some instruments.
All you
like,
need is a power outlet and you're good.
play a show under an overpass.
That'd be so sweet.
Do you guys have a favorite venue or show that you have played? It sounds like you've played some really cool ones.
Favorite, probably my favorite space, just in Calgary that people play regularly is Broken City. I like the stage and the venue and the sound there was good. And it's a cool place, right? Like I like Broken City. But probably for a favorite show, it would be the Mac Hall show.
Yeah,
that one was big.
Calpurnia
That
was just insane.
Yeah,
that was
like
a big deal for
just
us.
under 1,000 people. That was so wicked, man. And then afterwards,
And meeting everyone there and meeting all
Yeah.
the staff of like all the sound people and all the showrunners of
security
everything
and all that,
meeting the other band, like meeting Calpurnia was really cool.
yeah, they're really cool people.
Yeah, they're really friendly.
I felt like such a rock star that night.
I know,
My
right?
ego was
Yeah.
inflating. Yeah, and then the next day it was like it had popped. It was like
Yeah.
a balloon being popped. Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
Just the fact that like having that when you walk on stage, like it's time for your set and they like had the fog machine going for like a second and you walk out and they bring up the house lights and
everybody
everyone screams and it's like oh my god.
Like, whoa, that was so cool.
Yeah.
And playing the drum set, doing sound check.
Oh, yeah.
Like when I hit
With
the
the
kick
empty
drum
room, it's
and
just
that
like a-
empty Mac Hall, it was like, whoom! It was like, yes, I'm so powerful right now. It was so cool. And then doing the drum solo there, just that whole night was like surreal. You know?
Yeah, that's my favorite word to describe that night because it was just insane. Like, and then we were I was watching the new season of Stranger Things, and it was like, I've played guitar. I've talked about my Rickenbacker with that kid.
I played on the same stage as that kid.
Hold on, he was really friendly.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like, I still remember the very first time that I just like heard music that I had made on like just club speakers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, like that is something special. You
Yeah,
know?
it's like such a cool feeling, and then especially when everybody like cheers and is like, "Whoa!" It's like people actually like it. It was cool,
Yeah.
you know.
When
We're
you
not
hear
just
your
some
song
losers.
on the radio and everything. That's just crazy.
Yeah, like when we got played on Exposure, that was really cool.
Yeah.
You know, that was like, whoa, man. I remember I was sitting in the car with my mom, and we were listening, and as soon as after the song played, and then the guy said that was youth band Gratuitous Platypus, and we're just like, yeah, like screaming to this parking lot because it was.
My dad videotapes me whenever we listen to the songs on the radio.
Yeah.
And it's always like me standing in the kitchen just kind of smiling, and I look at him and he's like, "Who's this, George?" Like, yeah, that's me. I'm on the radio.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, has it been hard or has it been difficult to balance kind of school with the band, or?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
There's been
It's
a few
about to get hard.
Yeah, it's gonna get real hard here. We're all going up to university together. It'll probably be harder to balance then. Well, there's a few nights it was hard to balance like our band with our school band. There was a few nights where we had shows in Calgary. The same night we had a school band or school jazz performance.
Yeah,
right?
like
so
a-
we'd go into Calgary for a sound check, and then we'd come back into town and we'd play our jazz show with the school, and then we'd go back into Calgary and we'd play our rock set. That happened a few times, and that was overwhelming.
We had like a concert band performance.
Before we played the marquee.
Yeah. We went and sound check, came back, I played the trombone, and then went back and played guitar again.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you guys played in the school band as well?
Yes,
For sure.
yeah, we had a jazz band and a jazz combo, and then like the symphonic band through our school, and we played in all the groups. And
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, did the experience from playing in like the jazz band and stuff like that, did that really help?
Extremely.
think
Me
so.
especially, because when I first came out there, it kind of got me like practicing a lot. Because I had just started on my instrument, right? So between the rock and the jazz and everything that we did in jazz, right, it gave me a lot to practice when we first started, right? So it kind of gave me a leg up, and so I kind of got
And we
better at drumming quicker.
we
right?
forced Tristan to switch schools so he could like
Be in the
come
jazz band,
be in
yeah.
the jazz band and everything.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have to wait for his bus ride home after school to start jamming.
Yeah, because for a semester I went to the Composite in Okotoks while I was living in High River, and I had to take the bus home afterwards. Yeah, it was not fun.
Yeah.
Just transferred.
But yeah, had a lot of fun in the jazz band. You know, I really like jazz, but you know, drumming jazz is like a huge, like,
it's a big influence for all of us. Definitely.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like he got an award actually with the AIBF, Alberta.
International Band Festival. We all play jazz, and we played a lot. So we do this festival with our school. I just got an award for being in the rhythm section and playing bass good or something. So,
Is the bass good?
You should hear this guy on an upright. It's so tasty.
Maybe you can incorporate it into your next recording.
oh, we
Yeah,
should.
definitely sometime.
We gotta get some
Blowers.
actual acoustic songs on
Yeah.
our next things. We'll make a Zeppelin 3.
Yeah.
That's what we'll have to do next.
So I guess besides jazz, is there anything else that kind of influences your guys' music?
I think all three of us have similar but different influences, right?
Yeah, we
all
have
listen.
similar but like widely vast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love rock and classic rock, but what I listen to most is probably jazz and blues and country. I used to listen to like punk and metal, and that was it, right? Like I listened to thrash punk and hard punk, and
Yeah,
punk
same.
rock and like heavy metal, like yeah. But
Yeah, we definitely got some roots in folk music, right? Like,
yeah, we've played a lot of folk music.
yeah, and you know it's great music. You know, as of course we come from a small town, so of course we got roots in folk music.
And
But
then
yeah,
there's me.
yeah, and he's like, oh, trippy prog rock, like it's like
I have all the
Rush
weird
and
stuff.
Pink Floyd.
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. and
Everyone
whatever.
they like I like all the jazz and everything, and I like everything that they like, and then all the weird versions of all of it. So like all the jazz, and then I'm a fan of the weird
Like fusion stuff?
nebulous like fusion jazz and all of like the crazy Coltrane albums and all of that like acid jazz, just insanity. And I've actually been, it's strange because I never enjoyed like anything. Like I liked my classic rock and I liked my garage rock, and that was it. But now I listen, like I mean obviously I love I got really into Rush, as everyone does, in like the 9th grade, and then got into Pink Floyd and all the early Pink Floyd with Syd Barrett, where it's just weird and trippy and experimental, and all of the like experimental Grateful Dead stuff that they did. And then somehow I've ended up in like I've been really into like hip hop stuff recently. I'm not like a big rap fan per se, but I enjoy a lot of the music that is made. Like a lot of the I'm not a fan of like remixes and stuff. I mean, I enjoy it because there's still lots of stuff that I think is really cool in there. But I love like when a hip hop artist hires a band to play their songs, it's really cool. Like
Yeah.
Kendrick Lamar had a jazz band behind him on To Pimp a Butterfly, I believe. And just all that stuff is really interesting. I just love all the drumming. I love all the beats that all these drummers do. And there's lots of really cool just ways to make music that I've been really into lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always listened to all kinds of stuff. You know, jazz. I used to be really into rap, like 90s rap, like Ice-T, Ice Cube, NWA, Biggie, Tupac, all those ones, right?
Yeah.
And then I moved to metal, and then it was punk, and then it was blues, and then it was R&B, and then and it's just always jumping all over the place, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been really into Radiohead recently because it's sort of a mixture of everything that I enjoy. Like it has all of that early trippy Pink Floyd stuff mixed with some computer like synth, like robotic sounds, and I love all that experimental stuff.
Yeah, it feels like in today's day and age, people are experimenting more and more with different sounds and combining
definitely.
things together, and like I've seen so many
how
like
far technology has come to be able to do all that.
exactly, and I think it is because of technology and stuff. Like you can have a one-man band who plays a saxophone and then has like electronic music playing, and that's a thing. There's I saw there's this guy called Opiel, and he's an electronic music producer, but he did his show with an entire like symphony and an orchestra, and it's
that kind of stuff just blows my mind.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
Or like even like the really simple mashups like that, like anarchist folk punk,
yeah,
that kind of stuff where they're basically like slamming on an acoustic guitar like it's punk and singing about hating the government. It's so cool, right? Music just it blends and it becomes so different but so similar in so many ways, and it's really cool.
I've been listening to a lot of just like stuff that I wouldn't necessarily like you wouldn't think I'd listen to, like a lot of more accessible pop music, but it's pop music where they're using crazy modes that no one even attempts to use.
Yeah.
And like that kind of stuff is insane. Like Bjork, she has some insane stuff. It's all I'm forgetting all my stuff right now. But it's this like pop music she's using theory that no one even attempts to use because it's so difficult to like balance.
Yeah. I remember a buddy of mine who's really into music. He's a drummer. But he went and saw Ed Sheeran with his girlfriend, and he was like, going into it, he was like, oh man, like I gotta go see Ed Sheeran, blah, blah, blah. And then like after the show, he was like, that guy is so talented, you know? He's just like up there by himself with a loop pedal, and he's playing guitar.
And he can play the guitar.
Yeah,
he kills it,
Yeah.
There's like those recordings on YouTube of him playing like at live sets on radios and stuff like that, and it's crazy. He does all kinds of different tapping. It's kind of like that Callum Graham, who actually he's out of High River. He's a really cool, really, really, really talented guitarist.
Plays
like,
classical guitar.
Guitar, but like
he was
pops it up.
He was my first guitar teacher. Well, I did lessons like learning what the guitar was before, and then he was the first teacher that I had. When I started playing guitar, I played classical like fingerstyle guitar. That's what I learned, and then he moved to Toronto, and I started just kind of playing on my own. Like I would learn rock songs and everything, and every time he'd come back, he'd show me some stuff, and he taught me. I wanted to play all these like classic rock masterpieces, but like the whole songs, like you hear everyone play learn all these licks, and I was like, that's cool, but you can't like put on the CD and play the whole thing. So whenever he'd come back, I'd learn stuff like I remember I really wanted to know Stairway to Heaven, as everyone wants to know Stairway to Heaven. But then I learned the entire song and the guitar solo and everything, and so like I'd play with someone, they'd be like, what do you know? I'm like, oh, I know Stairway, and they're like, oh yeah, well, I do too, of course. So then we'd start, and I'd get to like the guitar solo and all like the other stuff that no one learns, and I was just like, okay, here it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like so many people feel like, they want to be musicians, but then you get your instrument and you're like, wow, this is a lot of work.
For sure.
You have to be willing to be bad and make bad noises, and it's like really hard and crushing for a lot of people.
For sure. It takes a lot more practice than anybody thinks, because, you see rock stars and you see people like the masters who make it look so easy because they put, people say 10,000, they put 10 million hours on their instrument, right? So to them, it's just like going for a Sunday walk. It's like nothing, right? Yeah. So you think, your mind makes that connection and you're like, okay, so it should be easy, right? But then you pick it up and you try to do it, and it, like, especially drumming, like, you hear those people do those crazy polyrhythmic, like, subdivisions going on, right, at the same time, and it's like, okay, I hear exactly what's going on. Like, I know what he's doing on all those parts, and then you try to put it all together, and it's like, whoa, it's crazy.
I remember I tried to play the drums one time. My buddy tried to teach me, and just like getting my foot and my arm to do two different things.
Yeah, the coordination's so crazy.
Yeah, like you think, oh, it's just hitting things. It should be easy, and then you're like, no, never mind. This is super difficult.
That's why I was a terrible drummer. Yeah, I'm good. I'll play the guitar. I'm gonna stick with that instrument.
So how do you guys get yourselves out there then? Like, what's been some kind of beneficial things for that?
We do a lot of like pushing ourselves, so we'll look into venues that are available or things going on, and especially at the start we sent a lot of emails, right? That's kind of how we did a lot of our pushing. We sent our first really terrible demo tracks to people, and we're like, please hire us to play shows. And then and social media is definitely very helpful. I can't imagine running a band back when it wasn't a thing, because it allows us to connect with and engage in a much bigger audience than we'd be able to with like flyers. And
I mean, it's funny though, because people have changed, like as humans everyone has changed, because it was like back then you had to rely on word of mouth. But if you try and rely on word of mouth now, people are so lazy that no one's going to spread the word.
Yeah, and it comes back to kind of what we were talking about earlier. Music used to be like an identity for people, right? So, like a community, right? So it's not you could make it without having to, like, be in the media, right? And just throwing flyers and telling people, like, hey, we're putting up a show, and people would, because they identify with that music, hey, I'm going to a rock concert tonight, right? They'd be telling that kind of stuff to everybody, right? So it's more like
no
word
one
of mouth.
had like TVs and stuff in their house, or like
nobody could,
good television or good like the internet. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, there's a rock show, I'm going. We used something to watch.
We used to do a lot of guerrilla marketing at our school. There's a hall in High River that we'd rent out and put on shows sometimes. And for those ones, we'd post about them. But how we sold the brunt of our tickets and got ourselves out there to them was we'd just like walk around school at lunchtime and yell at people to buy tickets to our show. It's like,
hey, you got cash?
Our show?
Yeah, buy a ticket.
Yeah. Buy a ticket to our show. It's only $5.
And we like wouldn't let people say no either. Like there was lots of times it was like, what are you doing? Oh, I don't know. I need coffee. It's like, nah, you need a rock concert more than you need like all this stuff. And it was like, hey, you got money? It's like, no, not right now. Like, when are you getting paid? Yeah, okay, put 10 of those dollars away, and then you're coming to our show.
It was kind of just like
for a while,
spoon-feeding people, like force-feeding it.
Here's our rock and roll.
We were urging 9th graders to steal from their parents.
It was like, you don't have any money, just sneak into your parents' bedroom, find where the piggy bank, just take a little bit just steal a little bit. Just a little bit. It's just $10. It's good. It's for a good cause.
They'll be happy. Get you out of the house for a night.
That was the big one. Was like, your parents will be happy that you're leaving the house for the night. They want you gone. Come to our show.
That's awesome. I agree with what you said though. Like back in the day, people didn't have Netflix. You couldn't binge watch the entire season 3 of Stranger Things, like, so you had to kind of go and find stuff to do, whereas now, like, you have endless entertainment at your fingertips on the internet.
Endless entertainment.
I wrote a song about this exact thing.
Really?
About how the song's just about how how everyone's lazy now and no one wants to leave their house because they've got a constant stream of entertainment on a TV in front of them. Yeah,
that's a thing that happens. It's like you have to like force yourself to go out now. It's
people are lazy. People, I mean, there's been laziness for years, but now it's like so easy to be lazy because you can do basically anything. You can run a business from your bed if you feel like it.
If you're good enough with a computer.
You can not even leave your house and be set. And it's so much more of an effort now to actually go out and pursue something like some sort of enjoyment or entertainment. And that's what a lot of like the internet and being able to like push our shows on there, and when we get larger and larger crowds, we can post about it, and that makes you feel like people want to be part of it. People want to go out and have fun and want to be in a group of people and want to be part of something. And so that's where like having a social media account allows you to show how it allows you like entice people. It's like you want to have fun with us.
Yeah, it's like
want to come see us.
kind of like peer pressure, right? It's like, look at how much fun everybody's having at our show,
Yeah,
man.
get off your ass and come out and turn off the TV for a night and come watch some rock and roll. It'll be there tomorrow. You have a Netflix subscription. It'll still be there the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come party with us.
Honestly, I think that it's one of the reasons that so many people are struggling with like mental illness and stuff like that, depression, anxiety, and stuff like
Everyone
that.
just
The
stays in their
isolation.
house.
Isolation.
Everybody's isolating themselves. It's like, no, I don't need to go out. I have everything right here, but you have nothing right there. It's a screen. It's not actually doing anything for you, man. Like, go outside.
Yeah.
You know how much better you feel when you go out and do something in a day and like hang out with people. You know, you come home and don't feel like, oh, depressed. Like, oh, I didn't see anybody today.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I'm such a hermit. Why am I such a creep all the time? It's like, because you spend all your time alone, you weirdo. Go outside.
Then like you spend all that time alone and you're like, then it's the fear of leaving again and be like, because then you're out of your comfort. I mean, that just comes back around to like comfort levels.
Yeah.
But now it's so easy to be an uncomfortable person, like I was saying earlier, because you don't have to.
Exactly. Right? Like we all suck at social interactions, you know. We've ruined it. So now we just need to be awkward around each other. Be like, dude, I have no idea what I'm doing
I'm
right now.
so bad at talking to people
I
at
know,
shows.
right?
Like when I met Calpurnia, I was like, "Hi, I like guitar. I'm rock and roll. I play rock."
That's one of the things that I've definitely noticed from doing this podcast is that everybody is socially awkward.
Yeah.
Everybody struggles with social interactions. Like,
Exactly.
if you think that, oh, I'm weird because I suck at social interactions, everybody
No,
sucks.
Yeah,
Everyone's
we've all
terrible.
like shit the bed on this one, guys. Like we're so bad at interacting with each other unless we spend all our time together.
Yeah.
You know?
The only way that social interaction becomes easy is the familiarity of only seeing another person.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go out and it's like, "Hi." I'll say I like
I like cheese,
I like
man.
guitar.
I don't know.
yeah.
Also, people, they're not getting good at anything anymore, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
lots of people are just willing to sit in front of their screens, play their video games, watch TV or whatever. I guess getting good at video games is actually just as valid as anything else now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but no
Yeah.
one's like, and everyone gets so frustrated so quickly because everyone's attention spans and patience is so small now.
Yeah, because it's instant gratification, right? If you want to get likes or you want to go see something cool, you can go on the internet, right? And instant gratification, right?
Yeah.
So nobody wants to dedicate themselves to something. Nobody wants to work hard because they don't have to work hard to feel good when they have Instagram right there,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And so it's killing like ambition,
And
you know,
motivation.
right? And it's hard, you know, but you know.
Yeah, and that's what my song's about.
Yeah. I guess all we can do is not be like that, you know.
Yeah.
I guess we try not to be like that. Have something to do, not just sit around all the time, you know.
Yeah.
I love listening to the 17-year-olds
Get all political. and
talk
shit.
about life.
I know nothing. I'm totally hypothesizing right now, theorizing everything. But you know, I think it makes sense.
yeah, yeah. Hey, I mean, like, I'm way older than you guys are, so if I'm agreeing with you, then you're doing something right.
Wicked.
That's good. Reassurance. This is what we strive for. This is what we came for.
We're not complete idiot teenagers.
So what's maybe something that you were surprised, you weren't expecting about being in a band?
How much time I'd have to be on a phone for it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of work to do the social media end and to do it well sometimes, right? I find a lot of the time, like, I don't know, the day we put that video up, it was like to get the boosted ads and the timed posts and everything uploaded and downloaded. It's like, oh my god, I just sat in front of my laptop for 5 hours to do a thing for our band. Like, I think I've spent more
sick
time
of staring at Facebook.
I think I've spent more time on social media for our band than we've done as a band.
Like individuals,
right? It's just because it's so accessible and it's in my pocket, but it's a lot sometimes. Like, it is a lot of work. And that I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting to be marketing so frequently, right? Like, it's always it's constant.
It's really what's the word, like, hypocritical to say, to like tell people to not, like, oh, why are you always on social media? Why are you always on this?
Yeah, and it's literally a tool for our success. Like, we have it all the time.
The reason why we're able to do anything is because of that, and how we're always like.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's so hard to not. I don't know.
I'm so like I would love to not have any of that, and that's why I can't wait till eventually. Hopefully, we'll be able to hire someone to do that for us. Because I'm so sick of staring at a phone.
Oh my god, man. I used to hate it. Like, when we went into high school, before the band really started taking off, I didn't have any social media. I didn't have Facebook, Instagram, none of it. I was offline, and my life was so much more, like, I don't know, just free.
Fulfilling.
You know? Like, I see things on the street and laugh, you know? It'd be a great time to just go for a walk. But, you know, now you miss things.
Now we have to.
We have to, right?
Yeah.
Or otherwise we're going to miss an opportunity for something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that same thing with the podcast. Is like, the only reason I'm on social media right now is to
promote
be like,
that.
hey,
exactly.
look at what I'm doing. Hey, care about it.
Come on, come listen to the
check
podcast,
this out.
man.
I'm doing something really cool here.
Yeah.
This is why you should care.
Yeah. So what does the future hold for you guys?
So we all just finished high school, and all three of us have auditioned and been accepted to MacEwan University in Edmonton. Today we put a down payment on a house that we're renting. We're gonna live together and study music together in Edmonton and continue to
get
play
ready
as
for
a band.
some really technically
We
confusing
will play
Gratuitous Platypus music.
strictly acid jazz from now on.
Yeah, like concept albums
We're gonna
all
play
the way.
progressive. Yeah, I made that joke. We were in the car, and I was like, "All right, for the next 4 years of Gratuitous Platypus, we're only making like progressive jazz concept albums."
It's gonna be so pretentious. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
With the internet, there's an audience out there for everything.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
we'll find someone.
But yeah.
There'll be one dude in like Siberia who's like, "This is exactly what I've been waiting to hear."
But yeah, so Edmonton, look out. We're coming for Edmonton.
Yeah, we're excited for the scene up there. We've heard it's like Calgary, where everyone's supportive of each other, and also more because Calgary, it's really nice. The music scene's really great, but it's a lot of like country or
thrash metal
and punk, and there's not a lot of in between.
Like indie kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, and we've heard that Edmonton has a lot more of like an alternative indie kind of feel to it, and that's that's our niche, so we kind of fit into.
Yeah.
So, yeah, even though I wouldn't necessarily, I like indie rock as a genre, like to define ourselves as, because it works the best. But we have had the hardest time figuring that out.
Like, we called ourselves basement rock for a long time.
And I still like that. I had someone. Never mind. I don't need to talk about this right now.
I think that every band hates being asked that question. It's like, oh, so what kind of genre of music do you play?
Yeah.
They're like,
It's like, we play what we play, man. You know?
Yeah, I like indie and alternative rock. Both kind of fit for what we do, but I find alternative rock is a bit more on the poppy side and more like computer and synthy kind of, and then indie rock is more of like instruments and like
Lots of reverb.
yeah, that's very true. Yeah, but it's a lot more like with instruments and stuff. I don't know.
cool.
Like when I think of alternative, I think of like Imagine Dragons, and when I think of indie, I think of like Kings of Leon, for like a way to define the two sides.
Awesome. So is there any just kind of final things that you guys want to say before we close this out?
Thanks for having us down here. This is
Yeah.
cool. We've never done like a podcast interview, so this has been interesting.
It's been cool. Check us out.
Check
all
us
of our
out.
stuff.
Yeah, on
You know,
Spotify, Apple
yes.
Music, YouTube, all that stuff.
Yeah, we just put out our music video. You should listen to it. We're
Yeah,
putting
on
our new
YouTube.
album up on Spotify.
Go
and
on our
everything. You should buy
Instagram.
it
Our
first,
Instagram
because
is our
we're
most active social media because we understand how to use it the best.
broke. Yeah.
I don't understand Facebook.
Facebook just gives me a migraine. It's
Yeah,
stressful.
but Instagram is easy for us, so it's the one that you'll hear the most recent news on.
Yes.
So yeah, follow that one if you feel like it.
Awesome. Well, I'll have all the links for your social media and stuff like that where people can find you in the
Oh, sweet.
episode
That's
notes of the
awesome.
podcast.
Thank
So
you.
Thank you.
people can just check that out. And thank you very much for making the journey down
Of
to
course.
Calgary.
Thanks for
we
having
had
us.
it.
Do the
It was
show.
fun.
It's
Lots
totally
of fun.
worth it.
Awesome.
I
Cool.
love talking about myself.
I'm saying goodbye to my youth. I hate to see you go so soon. We plenty of time to screw up. And plenty of time to make do. You can try and drown me out, but my songs are too loud. Now it ain't easy. Be the man I'm supposed to be. Saying, boy, you better let me say some ID. And I'm a little scared to dream, 'cause everything's beyond me. And I can't find steady ground. The only thing that is around. So don't drag me down. Yeah, don't drag me down. Everywhere I go, I'm reminded. Who's dragging me? I'm dragging me. He's the pain, and I'm a dog, and I don't mind, but we know it's wrong. So tie me up, bend my words around, and do what you will. But don't drag me down, don't drag me down, yeah, don't drag me down, yeah, don't drag me.
If you liked this episode of the podcast, why not leave a review? You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. For up-to-date information on the podcast, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. You can find us at FrogE Style Productions. That's Frog, the letter E, Style Productions. For more ways to support the show, visit fsproductions.ca.